Sports Central presents MaxPreps SoCal.
And welcome into MaxPreps SoCal. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to spotlight some of the biggest games of the week and some of the biggest performances from last Friday across the Southland. Welcome in. I'm Chris Hayre, joined by former LA Charger and Riverview, Florida High School alum. I always got to get that in. Jahleel Addae. What's up, my man?
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Good. We got a big slate of games Friday, to say the least.
Yes, sir. Let's get to it. We got Rancho Cucamonga versus Damien. Battle of the 8-0s. Battle of the 8-0s. You heard it right here. Then you have Sierra Canyon, number 22 ranked in the country, taking on Serra, who's been leaning on that rushing attack and a pair of ballers to keep them going along the way.
That's right. But we'll get into it. But we got to rewind a little bit. A big shakeup at the top. So let's get right to the new California State Top 10, St. John Bosco. Now the number one team, followed by Mater Dei. Unbeaten Sierra Canyon remains third, while Corona Centennial and San Mateo Serra round out the top five. Two new schools enter the top 10 this week. 7th ranked Santa Margarita and 10th ranked and 8-0 Rancho Cucamonga. So we'll start with the number one team in the state now, St. John Bosco. They're also ranked third in the nation following a surprising 28-0 shutout win over previously ranked Mater Dei. Brave senior Cam Jones rushed for 142 yards, scored twice. Next up, for 7-1 St. John Bosco, they traveled to San Juan Capistrano to take on J. Serra Catholic, ranked 10th in LA.
We have to be able to put the past behind us, and we have to really internalize our efforts on getting better as a football team. We still made quite a few mistakes in the Mater Dei game in all three phases, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. So we need to do a better job of playing a cleaner football game, fixing some of the mistakes, and trying to progress through this process that we use this league season to get ready for the playoffs. And that's what we're going to do.
Well, Coach said they made some mistakes. I didn't see many mistakes. A shocking upset, 28-0. You had Lane Kiffin of Ole Miss, Steve Sarkisian of Texas in the building for this one. And boy, did Bosco put on a show for them.
They put on a show. You had all the big dogs in the building, like you said. 28-0, goose egg. Hey, those kids say, now you're skunk. Get off the sticks. This is mad and you can't play anymore. These guys were balling all night. Mater Dei was held to no points, shutout for the first time since 2011. Bosco came out and made a statement early and often.
You know, we talked about the 90-4 record that Mater Dei had, and all four of those losses have come to Bosco. It seems like St. John Bosco just gets up for this game.
Yeah, they do. They know what time it is. They know this it's mano-a-mano, best in the state, right? One, number two, most times out of the year, but it's best teams out there. And they got up. They said, you know what? You know, we were the champions last year. We haven't been knocked off our throne, so you guys got to prove it. They went out there on Friday night and they proved it.
And I won't be shocked if we see them again later this year.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
There's just 4 unbeaten teams left in MaxPreps Southern Section Top 25. 2 of them going to meet Friday night in a huge baseline league matchup. Damien hosting Rancho Cucamonga. Now, Rancho ranks 7th, while Damien comes in at number 16. Both teams coming off wins over Chino Hills, a 49-0 win for the Cougars last week, and a 34-7 win for the Spartans before a bye in Week 8. Hey, we caught up with both head coaches this week.
We're excited to go out there and play in this game, and we realize that, you know, there's a lot on the line here, and so, you know, we have great respect for our opponents, but we want to go out there and play with good confidence and hopefully put it all together.
It's really, I look at it as an opportunity. You have 2 8-0 teams, 2 teams that are well coached, 2 teams that have some very good football players, and so really it's an opportunity for us to compete and win a baseline league title.
All right, so you heard both coaches, Jahleel. A lot on the line Friday. Let's start with Damien, 8-0, led by that quarterback under center.
Yeah, Isaiah Ariaza. He's been really well for them this year. Sophomore, 5'11", 175. Here you see him dropping back, delivering passes over the middle between the hashes and the numbers. And his ball players are making plays after they catch it. You see the yak right here taking it to the crib. He's done really well for them this season so far.
You flip it to Rancho, 8-0. They've outscored their last 2 opponents 84-7. But they got some guys who play both ways, Arizona Wildcats to beat.
Arizona Wildcats headed down to Tucson, Arizonaville. You have Stacey Bay, the linebacker and running back, 6'1", 200, just committed last week. Then you have Raheem Wright, the safety, and they like to play on that safety sometimes, but he's really a corner. Plays well with his feet, uses his hands, has a real good feel for the game. These guys are loaded. Tucson should be happy to get these 2 studs.
I love this because every single game means something from here on out. And another one, Sierra Canyon, also 8-0. They have a crucial home game ahead of them Friday against number 11, Gardena Serra. Both teams 3-0 in the Mission League. So this game has shaped up as the de facto championship, really. Sierra Canyon boasts one of the top defenses in the state, while the Cavs have ridden a red-hot offensive attack to 4 straight wins entering the Big League Showdown.
We've had a really good year offensively, and they've given up 7 points a game. They've given up 56 points all year. I mean, that's it. They're amazing. So we're going to have to, not turn over the ball. We're going to have to, have explosive plays. There's a lot we have to do, and they're fantastic. It's going to be the best team we've seen this year. We know that.
Serra's a good team, so I'm expecting it to be a pretty tough physical game. No matter who we play, every week we practice hard and attack. We're coming to attack whatever team we play.
So we mentioned that stout defense the Sierra Canyon has, but we'll start with the Trailblazers. And how about that quarterback, Wyatt Becker?
Wyatt Becker, he's a stud. He's a 4-star, and he has 22-plus offers. He has everybody in the country wanting to see him and wanting to come out and check him out on Friday nights. And then he has weapons all over the field. Xavier Jordan, USC commit, 4-star, 6'1", 165 pounds. A little light, but he's real shifty. He can get up and down the field. He has big playmaking ability.
All right, let's flip it here to Serra. And this rushing attack, these numbers, Jahleel, eye-popping from Sincere Rainey.
Yes, there are, and you can see him right here. He runs behind his pads, a little bit of shake, bounces outside, and you see the speed to get into that paint. 6 points, good. Sincere Rainey, once again, he's a baller. They want to get the ball in his hands. They want him to make plays. His yak, his vision, his field awareness, he could do it all. They also have Zacharias Williams, wide receiver, 6'2", 195 pounds. When Sincere's not running the ball, they can also air it out to Zacharias. These guys have weapons and will be on Front Street for us all to see.
So Zacharias, Sincere, and Terrell Cooks, the running back from Sierra Canyon, all played at St. Bernard together. Yep. So now meeting up, but on different teams when it comes to Terrell Cooks.
A little bragging right coming up. A little bragging rights.
No doubt about it. All right, hey, coming up on MaxPreps SoCal, the Tustin Tillers, they're 8-0. They stopped by the Sports Central studios following their latest win. Plus, Warren topped Downey last Friday from SoFi Stadium. We're going to hear from the Bears following another big win in the city rivalry.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back. This was fun. Rivals Warren and Downey played in front of 19,000 fans at SoFi Stadium last Friday. The first high school game ever at SoFi. It was a tight battle all game. Second quarter, Warren quarterback Madden Yamaliava hits Jordan Ross in the end zone, ties the game at 7. Still second quarter, Yamaliava finds Ross again on the inside screen. Ross untouched for the score. Warren beats their rivals 28-21. This week, they host La Mirada.
Great fan. Great fan support that they have as well. But my gosh, to get 19,000 people to come out here for a city, it's really one of the last city real rivalries there is.
Kevin Pearson getting the Gatorade bath. All right, this was a good one in the Empire League last week. Tustin and Crean Lutheran both unbeaten in league play entering this one. First quarter, no score. Tustin quarterback Jack Stupin hits Marquez Guzman in the end zone for one of his 2 touchdown passes. A dominant night for Tustin. They win 21-0 and move to 8-0 on the season. Stupin and his head coach joined our Jim Hill on Sports Central the day after the win.
Jack, let's talk about those 2 touchdowns that you threw last night, because that was a heck of a performance for you. But you knowing the way that I do, you always give credit to your offensive line and of course to your receivers.
Yes, sir. I mean, none of it could have happened without the offensive line, and then giving the ball into the athletes' hands, letting them do the work.
When you're in the huddle, sometimes some of your receivers talk to you and say, "Hey, Jack, I'm open over here."
Of course. I mean, all of my receivers love getting the ball, so. I like letting them do their thing and just let them go out and show who they are.
Speaking of doing their thing, have you thought that much about doing your thing on the next level?
Of course. I want to go play football in college. Definitely. There's a couple schools I'm looking at. I'm just excited to keep going on my journey.
All right, Coach. You are just one of 2 undefeated teams left in all of Orange County. What is this team really capable of right now?
That's to be determined. I feel like we can go a long, long way. The first item on our list is the Empire League title, and we got to win the next 2 games to really get that going, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
What impresses you the most about your team? What's the best thing about them?
Their cohesiveness, the way they play for each other. The physicality our team brings on the football field has been amazing, and it really sets the tone for the season.
All right, so you hear Tustin, just one of 2 teams in the OC undefeated, as Jim alluded to. When you're 8-0 at this point, the feeling for these kids is what?
We want to be undefeated for the rest of the year, right? There's something that you could talk about for years with your buddies. Tell your kids when you get older, hey, I was one of the classmates, I was one of the players who finished the season in high school 8-0 or undefeated, right? So I think it's a big, big deal for these kids.
Speaking of something you would never forget, this is some really cool news. The CIF Southern Section announced this week that the Division I Football Championship going to be played at the LA Memorial Coliseum on November 24th. Now, last year was the Rose Bowl. This year, it's the College, Jahleel. You've played in this building.
I have. It's historic. It is historic. We've talked about it. The Coliseum. It's so much history. So much legends have played in this field. So for them to be able to play in this stadium, man, it's a dream come true for those kids.
I remember that game. I was at that game.
Yes,
Week 2 against the Rams. Both should have had that one.
They got us that day.
All right, still to come, MaxPreps national football editor Zach Poff joins us to break down his national rankings and St. John Bosco's path to another MaxPreps national title. Plus, we have more from Chatsworth as I sit down with Sierra Canyon head coach Jon Ellinghouse, whose Trailblazers are undefeated and among the best in Southern California and the country once again.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at the Southern Section top 10 from MaxPreps. St. John Bosco overtakes Mater Dei for the number 1 spot. Santa Margarita jumps to 6th following last week's win over J. Serra, while San Clemente moves into the top 10 at number 9. And finally, the National High School Football top 10. Las Vegas' Bishop Gorman, your new number 1 team in the country, ahead of second-ranked Chaminade Madonna out of Hollywood, Florida. St. John Bosco is 3rd. IMG Academy in Florida, number 4. And Mater Dei is 5th. Joining us now is MaxPreps national football editor Zach Poff, who comes up with these rankings. And Zach, we talked about it. You had a flight down to Southern California to see Bosco Mater Dei. How surprised were you by the result?
Man, I was shocked, man. Even on Saturday when I woke up going back, I'm like, did that really just happen? St. John Bosco just absolutely dominated that game. And I was talking to you right before we came on here. Mater Dei only got inside the red zone twice, once at the very end of the first half on the final play, and then when backups ran on the final drive. So that just showed you that St. John Bosco really dominated the trenches. I was shocked. I'm still a little bit surprised, man. But, you know, St. John Bosco now, they kind of got another chance to repeat as MaxPreps national champs after that big-time win.
So, Zach, what's it going to take? Obviously, a huge win, but a lot of work to do. What will it take for St. John Bosco, to repeat as MaxPreps national champs?
Yeah, they're still in a tough spot because Bishop Gorman and Chaminade Madonna, the 2 teams that are undefeated and that are ahead of St. John Bosco, they both played big-time out-of-state schedules and big-time competition leading up to league play, too. You know, Bishop Gorman, they have a couple of marquee wins against Corner Canyon, Miami Central. They also beat Long Beach Poly 60-15. And they also beat Corona Centennial 56-28. So they have some monumental wins for them leading up. And then Chaminade Madonna, they played one of the toughest schedules this year too. So it's going to be hard for St. John Bosco, but you know, you get to CIF Southern Section Division I play. That's the toughest playoff bracket in high school football. So you add some, you know, more big time wins onto that. They're going to have a chance at the end to show why they're right there with Bishop Gorman and Chaminade Madonna.
So, Zach, let's take a look at that new top 10 for the CIF Southern Section. How much do you envision this changing from now to the playoffs November 3rd?
You know, honestly, I look at this and I look at 1 through 4, and I think those are the 4 teams that really are going to be the ones that could win it all. I don't see much change in here. You know, San Clemente's probably a team that's going to have a chance to stick in because they got that win against Mission Viejo. But I really look at this being top-heavy, and I expect St. John Bosco and Mater Dei to play again round 2. And it's hard for, you know, the team that won the regular season game to win the second time around because both these programs are so familiar with each other. But I love Sierra Canyon, man. This is a well-balanced team. I love White Beckert at quarterback. They have a strong running game, a bunch of ballers at wide receiver, but their defense is nasty. So I think Sierra Canyon is a team that could potentially do what Servite did in 2021 with Noah Fafita and Tetro McMillan, where they don't allow Mater Dei and Bosco to play a second time around.
Zach, final thing for you. The MaxPreps National Player of the Year watch list was released Tuesday. 2 players from the Southern Section here. I don't know if you could just kind of give us a deep dive on what to expect.
yeah, Elijah Brown and Caleb Sanchez, Mater Dei and St. John Bosco starting quarterbacks. If one of those teams obviously wins the CIF Southern Section Division I championship and wins the Open Division State Championship, they're going to have a chance to really win that award at the end of the season. Because what this comes down to really is whoever plays the best in the playoffs in those big-time games. And these guys got a lot of meat on the bone still. So there's a chance that one of these two guys could be the MaxPreps National Player of the Year, and they would be the fourth guy since 2017 from either Mater Dei or St. John Bosco.
We'll see what happens. Zach, you're the best man. Look forward to chatting next week. All right, at 8-0, Sierra Canyon is currently ranked 3rd in the state and 22nd in the nation. The Trailblazers are led by one of SoCal's top coaches, Jon Ellinghouse, who has shepherded Sierra Canyon from humble roots to a national power, winning 2 state championships and 6 CIF championships in 17 seasons. I recently caught up with Coach.
You came to Sierra Canyon because you want to play in big games, you want to be on big stages, right? This is it.
I think back to, this is your 17th season, 8-man football was the thing when you started. You have to pinch yourself or at least reflect at times where we are now, nationally ranked team versus what we were in 2007.
No doubt, it's been a wild ride. It's definitely, we've built a program here we're really, really proud of. And it's just great whenever you get a chance to just kind of sit back and think about, the special things we've done, the kids that have come in and out of the doors, and the impacts we've been able to have on their lives. And we've got a great environment around this place, and I think kids are getting a great education, and meanwhile, playing at the highest level now. Really, really proud of you guys. I couldn't be more happy. I know sometimes it takes me a little while to decompress. I'll be really happy in the morning, I promise.
For you, the impact that you have on these kids' lives off the field, what sense of pride do you have when you see some of these kids going off to these elite schools, knowing that you had a hand in it?
There's not a day that goes by that I don't use something that I learned on the football field. And these kids going off to these universities, we've had 18 kids go to Ivy League and Stanford and UCLA, and just life-changing opportunities for young men. And it's my favorite part of my job. It's the reason why I'm still a high school coach. Is I enjoy being able to have that impact, and not only get them to college, but get them to college prepared, and get them ready for the challenges that life throws at you, because there's just so many challenges that these kids see. And we like to think that we're not just sending kids to college, we're sending them to college prepared to do well in the classroom, but also, be tough men that can rise to the challenges of life. First off, love being on the field with you guys.
Coach House is a great coach. He sees the potential in everybody. He gets on everybody when they're down or up. He's gonna let you know when you're wrong or right. He's gonna be the first person to tell you when you're wrong or right. He's just there trying to get everybody better, off to the next level. We all hang out in his office. He lets us know if grades down, grades up, you're doing a good job, or film meetings, for example. He will have films during lunch or breaks to get better.
Good work, proud of you guys. Good physical football there, and it's your first league win.
What's the biggest lesson you think over your 17 years as a coach here that your players have taught you? What would be number one?
I think as a coach, you learn more from your players than you teach them a lot of times. I've found that there's a lot of challenges in this job, but you got to be true to yourself. You got to believe in what you're doing, and you just got to treat people right. And so, I love my kids. I love what they do here, and it's just a blessing to be able to be, working with young men and helping them become equipped for life.
All right, coming up next, French fries before a football game? But is that the best pregame meal of all time? Let the debate begin next on MaxPreps SoCal.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, here's your stat to know this week. The leaders in total touchdowns in the Southern Section. South Pasadena's Jason Hong is at the top. 29 total touchdowns, also tied for 5th in the state. The senior is also 3rd in the Southern Section with 1,339 rushing yards in 8 games this season. Well, we've talked about the biggest matchups in Week 9. Here are some more key games coming up. On Thursday, number 2 Mater Dei takes on number 5 Orange Lutheran. Friday's schedule includes 4th-ranked Centennial against number 17 Murrieta Valley, and a big one in the Santa Clarita Valley between Hart and number 21 Valencia. And another ranked matchup in the OC between 6th-ranked Santa Margarita and number 13 Servite in Anaheim. Before we go, some more great content from across the country thanks to MaxPreps. This one, Jahleel, is from Ohio. Please react, my friend.
No. A backflip one-handed, Odell Beckham style with the flip, Rey Mysterio's Jr. from the WWE. This kid has it all. He needs like 10 offers just off this play right here. I don't know how I didn't see this one. This one should have went viral everywhere. What a play, stud.
That was good. I want to see it again. Hold on. Here it is. Hold up. You didn't do that in Florida?
I've never done that. I'm gonna lie. 9 years in NFL, and I've never done that, not even in high school. Look at the athleticism of this kid to backflip, catch the ball with one hand, land on the back of his neck, get up like nothing happened, and hold the ball up like, yeah, I just did that.
All right, from Ohio to Minnesota. This school gave out French fries before the game. Jahleel, I don't know if fries were your pregame go-to. What was?
Fries were my pregame go-to. More like chicken, broccoli, some greens, and some fruit. I wanted to keep it light, not too heavy with too many carbs, but enough in my body to keep me fueled. But never like this. I don't think this will go over well with the team's nutritionist. This kid was so excited, he fell. Watch this kid coming up. There he goes.
That should be the post-game meal.
100%
right?
post-game meal, I'm all for it. But pre-game, I don't know about that one, Chris.
I don't see Bosco and Mater Dei eating fries before a game.
It's the standard,
baby. In Southern California. Hey, remember, you can still cast your vote for the California MaxPreps Player of the Week at MaxPreps.com. Voting ends Thursday at 3 p.m. That's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you next Wednesday. For Jahleel, I'm Chris.